So let's talk a little bit more about Windows encryption. You do encryption usually in the graphical user interface. You right click on it, you choose encrypt. You can also do this at the command line with the cipher command. It's perfectly acceptable to do that. When you want to get the encrypted file system key recovery agent, remember that's local if you're a single user operating system, or it's remote and part of the domain when you're dealing with a computer joined to the domain. You have to have a user account in the domain. If it's a local user account, then the keys are stored locally and protected by the local password. We need to talk about on NTFS what actually happens in deleting files. So we need to step through this process. Take a look here. Windows changes the name of the file and moves the file to the recycle bin with unique identity. Windows stores the information about the original path and file name in info2 file. That is a specific file that you want to gain access to. That's rich and wonderful for you as a forensics expert. It controls the recycle bin. If a file is deleted from the command prompt, the file does not go into the recycle bin, but a part of the file or the complete file can be recovered using forensics tools. When we delete a file at the command prompt or from the recycle bin, what happens is the clusters are made available for new data. Clusters, that goes all the way back to the beginning when we're talking about the physicalness of the drive. They're available. Are they used yet? No, not yet. Has the file been removed from that physical location on the disk? No, not yet. So what kind of image, what we need to actually retrieve that data before anything was written to that particular cluster? A bit-by-bit copy, and that's why we do it. Now, clusters are made available for the new data. The MFT attribute $bitmap is updated. The bitmap is a list of what files are available on the system, and you only read this in hex. The file attributes of the MFT are marked as available, so it's ready to go at that point. Any connections to the inode and the VFN LCN cluster locations are removed. This is links. That's a short way to describe it. The list of links to the cluster's locations is deleted. So in other words, the operating system doesn't know about them anymore, but they are still there for you to retrieve in a running operating system, and then also if you're just doing it on a bit-by-bit basis. Now, FAT deletes are a little bit different. You're still going to encounter these for the end user's workstation, so you need to be prepared for them. So let's talk FAT just for a second here. Boot sector is the first sector, 512 bytes. When we're dealing with file recovery, there's no encryption file system for FAT. So if they're going to be doing any kind of encryption, that encryption is going to be done with an application inside of the operating system. That means that when you're looking on the local operating system, you may be looking around to see what kind of encryption tools they are using. Most of the end user encryption tools that are installed besides TrueCrypt will allow you to auto-complete and auto-decrypt in a lot of cases. They've got a password stored in memory at that point where you can just double-click on the file and it will take that default password and decrypt. That doesn't mean that it's all using the default password. That doesn't mean that all applications that use encryption at the application level will have that password stored in memory or have it available to you. But it's possible at this point. And that's what you're looking for sometimes. It's like, oh, I just got to get into this file. I just got to pull this thing down. Now, that encryption is over and above the operating system. Let's pretend that there's no encryption at this point and we're just dealing with FAT. So when a file is deleted from the FAT volume, the operating system replaces the first letter of the file name with a lowercase Greek letter because it still understands Unicode characters. A space is then made available for the new files. The file can be recovered using plenty of forensics tools out there. The one that I charge you with looking at is WinHex. Elegant, easy tool to work with. That's FAT deleted files and how to actually recover them.